Hi, welcome to my first official wonderful YouTube video for Abraham Hicks stuff. To be quite honest, I've only done a few personal videos in my life. Most of them are usually for like business stuff and everything else like that. So this is going to be the actual first video that I have in regards to me talking about a non-business related subject. But the funny thing about this is that my whole thread on the Abraham Hicks forum is about money and about business. So I'm really excited because, like I said, this is my first video. There are a lot of questions that I got kind of about different things that I'm doing, and I'm pulling up my thread right now just to kind of see, what the questions are, because a lot of people have asked, this abundance game, how do you do it so specially than anybody else, or, what's so special about it, or, why should I start doing it, or what do I do whenever I don't feel motivated or inspired to do it. And the basic thing about it is that with this whole abundance game, the crux of it, the absolute main thing about everything is emotions. If you don't feel like doing it, then you have to ask yourself two things. Is it, one, I don't feel like doing it because I've been trained into a vibration of I don't do things like this to get money or something like that. It's more like if somebody has been living a life of poverty or in a scarcity mindset for the past 20 years of their life or 40 years or however many years, and then I present them with the abundance game, I'm like, hey, just write this check for yourself, and if you pretend that you cash it, then you'll get money. If I tell this to them, they're going to be like, okay, dude, are you crazy or what? And the thing is, it's whenever I learned about the abundance game, I want to say a couple months ago, maybe about a year ago or so, but I read the Ask and It Is Given book, and maybe I listened to the audiobook too, but I heard it, and I was like, day one, $1,000, day two, $1,000? I was like, that doesn't make sense. And, it was the same thing also for the $100 game, where it's you have $100 in your wallet and you just carry it there. And I was like, no, Esther. I was like, please, tell me, how do I really make the money? How do I actually get dollars in the bank? And she was like, just imagine and just feel that it's there. And I'm like, no, please tell me, how do I really get the moolah? And that's the thing about it. It's outside of people who understand how the law of attraction works is, if you tell this stuff to anybody, then they're going to be no, work hard, get a good job, go to college, go to work early, 15 minutes early. That's what they're going to tell you, how you become successful and whatnot. And the truth of the matter is, I've started to realize that, that is not exactly what it's all about. It's, the more you feel abundant inside of yourself, the more money you attract. May was a 6-figure month for me. June was a kind of mid 5-figure month for me. So, both of them are pretty good. And July, I don't even know about July because it's only 3 days in. So we're going to see where that starts out. But the whole thing about everything is just abundance and feeling abundant, regardless of whether you actually are, whether you have tons of money in the bank or whether you have negative $500 or negative $5,000 or whether you're in a lot of debt. Whatever you're attracting financially into your life is purely a result of how you feel about money. And the thing about it is that everything that's manifesting in your life right now is not, it didn't just pop up overnight. Whenever I have a lot of money that pops into my life out of the blue, it doesn't just pop in overnight. It pops in because, I've been focusing my energy, focusing my emotions, or focusing something in my life on abundance or having money. Because people who focus or feel inside I'm in a lot of debt, or I don't have a lot of money, or making money is hard, or it's hard for me to attract abundance. If you feel that way inside of yourself, then you're going to get results, you're going to get debt, you're going to get unexpected bills that just pop up out of the blue. Even just because I have so much momentum going for myself, especially in regards to money, whenever because it's kind of like a trick. It's if I have so much momentum going in a certain direction, what will eventually happen is if my mindset gets off for a couple days or a week or something like that, then all these unexpected bills or unexpected expenses will pop up just like right out the blue. And it's, it's actually pretty crazy, because whenever that happens, I just catch myself and I'm like, okay, holy shit, like, okay, I need to catch myself. Like, I remember something came up just like out of the blue for $400, and it was something that I normally would never come across, but I was like, okay, I attracted this into my life because I kept saying like, oh, I'm having a problem with this issue. So, that's as a result, what I felt inside, what I was thinking, what I was feeling manifested on the outside. It didn't pop up overnight, but whenever you start getting all this momentum towards any subject in your life, it starts to manifest different things. So, somebody had asked, it's like, oh, I don't feel very motivated, or I don't feel super inspired to do the abundance game. And the thing that I'll say about that is, if you really want to get to a point where, okay, I'll mention how I started with the whole abundance game. Right now, I am on day 80 with all of this right now, and I haven't, before that, I want to say I've been doing the abundance game for about maybe 150 days or so. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't just I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do it for 30 days straight, and I was like consistent with it. No, I started doing it for like 3 days. I did day 1, day 2, day 3. And then I kind of fell off the bandwagon for a couple days. Even though I was seeing, kind of some instant results, I was like, oh no, I'll do it later. And then, I picked up day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. Then I stopped for a couple days, day 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, on and on, 20, 25. And then I fell off the bandwagon for a couple days. And then I just like stopped for a while. But eventually I started realizing that even just by doing it inconsistently, it started to manifest financial results, like legitimate financial results, like money in the bank, like the dollars that everybody's talking about. It started to manifest those things into my life. So what I ended up doing was I was like, you know what? Let's hunker down. Let's actually do this. And the way that I do it, like this is kind of my ritual for doing it, is, really the first thing that I do whenever I wake up in the mornings is I just get financially aligned with myself and with everything. And I write a goal, or I do my day 1, day 2, day 80, day 79 checks, whatever. And I do those as the first thing that, happens in the morning. After that, it's just kind of along the points of like, if today I had $80,000 and I spent it, today is actually day 81, so I spent all those. It was like 2,000 for this, 2,000 for this, 50,000 for this, 5,000 for this, 10,000 for this, 5,000 to give away to this person for this random thing, and it's just kind of like I just keep spending it. And the thing about it is that there's so much energy that has been put behind it from the previous 80 days that it's just like I kind of wake up and just doing this little financial game helps me get aligned and helps me open up towards abundance. And every day that I do it, it helps me realize like, hey, there's all this money that's out there in the world that's just kind of waiting for me to allow it into my life, or just waiting for me to pick it up. And I'm starting to realize, because I'm not going to lie, like 6 months ago, I had this really strange problem with myself, a problem where I wasn't able to figure out money. Like I had so many other things in my life figured out, but it was just like, I don't know how to create money. I don't know how to manifest money. It's like, even the times that I would, I'd go from making like $0 to like $10,000 a month, and like $0 to like 30,000, or multiple tens of thousands per month. And I was like, how do I do it? And basically, I just realized that the times where I manifested like a large amount of money into my life was only because I felt it inside of here first, like inside my actual heart. And if somebody gets to the point where they are allowing money here and here, then dollars in the bank are not going to actually enter their life, because it's totally dependent on what you feel inside here, or what you think here. But sometimes thoughts aren't just enough. You actually have to change. Usually by just changing your feelings, it also changes your thoughts too. But sometimes, you can change your thoughts and it changes your feelings, which helps you in turn change your feelings to make your thoughts change. So that's like the little trick about it. It's, because even if I go around saying, I have $1 million in my life, I have $1 million in my life, I have $1 million in my life, then, you know, and I'm only thinking that, but I don't actually feel it. If I feel like I have like $0 inside of here, then guess what? I'm going to get $0, no matter, even if I am thinking that I have $1 million. But what can happen from time to time is, it's like, you know, your thoughts up here can kind of affect your feelings, but it's really easy just to, you know, get to the point where you just like change your feelings first. And the whole thing about the abundance game and the prosperity game or the check writing game is, I've realized that it has had so many benefits in my life, just in regards to, see, this is one of my theories about the whole abundance game. By writing your check, you know, writing this check for yourself for the amount of $1,000, $2,000, $50,000, $300,000, however much you do it, you know, depending on what day you're in, then it allows you to get to the point where you expect money outside of your typical 9-to-5 job or whatever medium or occupation that you usually expect it. Like, think about it, you know, if somebody has only earned $2,000 a month in their life, and, you know, that's what they're used to earning, then they're expecting for them to get $2,000 a month. You know, think about somebody who gets like laid off from a job that has, you know, pays them $2,000. It's pretty quick, you know, it's pretty easy for them to get a job that pays them $2,000 a month again. Like, you know, they can find that really quickly. And it's just kind of like, you know, Donald Trump. On the other hand, it's like, you know, he expects billions in his life. And I know that from what I recall, there was a time in his life where he like was totally bankrupt. I think it was a lot in debt. But then like a year or 2 years or a couple years later, he just like made it all back. And that's because he was expecting that money in his life. He felt it in here, and probably also completely thought it in here. And the thing about myself too is, you know, I'm starting to realize it's like, hey, you know, the more I feel inside here, the more manifests out there. But the truth is, what's out there is just like purely a reflection of what's in here. So by doing the check writing game or the abundance game or the money game, whatever you want to call it, it gets you to the point where you are gradually opening up day by day. That's why you only start with like $1,000 and then you move to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. But you gradually expect more and more money as time goes on. And you allow this money to come into your life to the point where it just like, it just gets to the point where you're like, where you're expecting this money to come in. And once you get to the point where you're truly expecting things to come in, then it just does. Like, money just comes into your life. Like, you know, I remember there was a time where it's like, oh, you know, everybody's seen The Secret and they talk about getting checks in the mail. And now, I'm not going to lie, it's like whenever I get a check for like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in the mail, or if $1,000 or $2,000 just magically manifest in my life, that's actually pretty cool. But I kind of trace it back to me being in the abundance game and whatnot, and realizing like, hey, it's just like all this stuff has been happening where it's like, because I gradually opened myself up to greater abundance, you know, I'm starting to see the results, you know, manifest in my life. And, you know, I remember I had like a $16,000 day, and then I had like a $60,000 day, and then it just kept going on and on and on. And I was like, whoa, I was like, this shit's really cool. So, you know, it's just really awesome. And, you know, I'm so thankful that I stumbled across the abundance game through asking it as given. But more than anything, I'm thankful that I actually applied the abundance game. Because you can know about the abundance game, you can do it inconsistently, but once you actually like really start, you know, doing it hardcore, you're going to see some magic in your life. So I'm going to make another video about how I call the income supercharger, and that's going to be a cool thing. So stay tuned to that video because it's really cool. But this is Alexander, and I hope you're having a great day.